peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Tuko hapa siku ya leo kwa sababu yenu nyinyi. Hii safari tumeianza sio juzi, ni safari ambayo tumetembea pamoja. Kutoka wakati mlikuja kwangu kwanza, mkaniambia mko na shida za container zenu ambazo zilikuwa zaidi huko zimeshikwa kwa port. Ama naongea uongo? Kweli ama sio kweli? Kwa zaidi ya container 1,000 ambaye zilikuwa zimekwama huko, tukakuja tukasaidiana huko, tukaenda, zile zilikuwa Mombasa, zingine zilikuwa hapa ICD. Na mkaniuliza mnataka solution ambayo itakuwa permanent, si ni hivyo? Tukakuja, nataka kushukuru viongozi wa KRA, wa Kenya Railways. Tukakuja wakati tulikuwa tunaanza hii shughuli ya reli hii yetu, Mugithi hii yetu hii. Na tukakuja tukatembea hapa, nikawauliza hii uwanja kubwa namna hii inafanya nini? Na wakaniambia iko tu ni ya serikali lakini haifanyi. Na tukatembea pamoja na wao na tukasema kwa nini basi tusitumie huu uwanja kusaidia wafanyabiashara wetu wadogo wawe na uwezo wa kuwa na pahali ambapo wanaweza kuja kuchukua mizigo yao bila shida nyingi, na pia ni karibu na pahali ambapo wanafanya biashara zao. Na nataka niwashukuru wakurugenzi na wafanyikazi wa Kenya Railways pamoja na wa KRA kwa sababu wakati tulikubaliana hivyo wakaanza kujiandaa na wakatayarisha huu uwanja. Na mnakumbuka ya kwamba mwaka uliopita tukakuja tukafungua hii hub ya kwanza, si ni kweli ama nasema uongo? Na wakati tulikuwa hapo mkasema tena hii nafasi ni ndogo, tunataka uipanue kwa sababu hii haiwezi kuhakikisha ya kwamba wafanyikazi, wafanyabiashara wote watatoshea. Sini hii iko hapa nyuma yetu hapa. Kaambia wacha tuangalie. Na tena nataka kuwashukuru wenzetu wa Kenya Railways, wenzetu wa KRA. Hizi go downs ambazo ziko hapa pia hazikuwa zinatumika, wakaenda wakazirekebisha. Na sasa tuko na facility ambayo inaweza kuhandle a minimum of 10 containers every day. Jameni, sasa ni nyinyi mshindwe na biashara. Msikuje kuongea juu ya serikali tena. Ama ni namna gani wenzangu? Si ni hivyo? 10 containers every day mnaweza kupata wapi? Si ni hivyo? Mkakuja mkaniambia mnataka we simplify njia ya clearance. Si ni kweli? Tukasema basi each container 2.2 million. Si ndio? Consolidator alete, alipe ushuru, mwenye container akuja achukue mzigo yake. Tulifanya hatukufanya? Si ndio hiyo iko sasa? Mkakuja tena mkasema sasa unajua tumelemewa na hii watu yeku ya cabs, sijui wanatucharge. Ilikuwa ngapi? 2.2%, 5% per container. Tunataka utushukishie bei. Haya, si ndio hiyo tumeshukisha mpaka 0.6%. Kweli ama sio kweli? Ni kweli ama sio kweli? Ni kweli? Sasa mko na facility ambayo inakaribia biashara yenu. Haja yetu sisi ni kuona vijana, ni kuona Wakenya wa taifa letu wakijimudi kibiashara na kwa kazi zao mbalimbali. Nimefurahi sana. Tena ni huyu dada ambaye tumeongea naye hapa ameniambia yeye mwenyewe ameandika vijana 6 ambao wanamsaidia na kazi yake. Hiyo ndio njia ya kujenga nchi, by doing straight and clean business and at the same time employing your fellow young people and empowering them also to be able to stand on their own 2 feet. That is the country that we want to develop, and I believe we can develop it together, right? So that we have a scenario where government plays its facilitative role, big business like these consolidators who are here, because then they are doing big business, are also doing their business, but at the same time they are also supporting the small business people to also come up. That is the way to develop a country, my friends. Not by turning ourselves against each other, but by working together to ensure that no single person is left behind. That way we shall develop our country. Na hivi karibuni pia tutarudi. Nataka niwashukuru viongozi wa NMS na viongozi wa county government ya Nairobi kwa vile wameshikana pamoja kufanya kazi. Tumeanza kuona sasa barabara zetu katika CBD sasa zimeanza kukua barabara ambazo ni barabara za kisasa na barabara ambazo zinastahili mji mkuu wa taifa kubwa kama Kenya. Na nimewaambia na jemedari tulikubaliana ya kwamba CBD hii ukimaliza uingie huko barabara za Gikomba, huko hii barabara ambazo zinaingia kwa hawa wachuzi wadogo wadogo, uingie huko pia urekebishe haraka. Alright? Alright? Na ndio hata hawa ambao wanafanya biashara ndogo wawe na infrastructure ambaye ni sawa na inalingana na wale ambao wako kwa CBD. Hakuna kusema kuna ule na sisi. Tunataka kusema Nairobi ni yetu sisi wote. Everybody is entitled to water, to good roads, to street lighting, to sewage, because that is the way we develop a city together. Ama ni namna gani wenzangu?
Good morning to you, and thank you for joining us. This is Good Morning Africa, and the video that was just playing, that was President Uhuru Kenyatta. Yesterday he went to launch some market that was built for our traders there. I'm glad you could find time to be with us today. My name is Miriam Ogutu, and on the panel this morning I'm joined by Douglas Kirimi. Douglas, a very good morning to you.
A very good morning to you, Miriam Ogutu, and also to our crew in our headquarters in Nairobi, and also to our friends across the world. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where they're watching us from. Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show.
Okay, very well. Thank you so much. Did you say Javan? Javan, good morning. Not yet. All right, very well. So before we get into our news headlines this morning, I'd like to bring us up to date with the current situation in line with COVID-19 in the country. And confirmed cases in Kenya stands at 102,221 cases, and the death toll is 1,791. Recoveries is 84,728, and Uganda, the total cases stands at 39,911, and the death toll is 328. Recovery so far is 14,470, and South Africa 1,482,000 cases, 412, and the death toll is 47,145. Recovery so far is 1,374,368 cases, and the total cases in Africa this morning stands at 3,003,700 cases, and the number of deaths is 99,510, and recovery stands at 2,567,100, and of course the global statistics have surpassed 107.8 million cases there. So that is the latest in terms of COVID-19. So let's just turn our attention to the newspapers this morning. And on the Daily Nation, the main headline there, Raila bets on tighter ties with Jubilee. Handshake to embrace. ODM leader tells of plans to form an unstoppable bigger political movement with ruling party and other groups, giving the clearest indication yet of a coalition to take on Deputy President William Ruto in race for State House. I'm sure, Douglas, when DP Ruto read this headline this morning, what do you think was going through his mind?
Thank you, Miriam. And also, we need to understand that Deputy President is a man that is at ease, and he does not feel comfortable as far as political rearrangements in this country are concerned. This is a man that thinks that presidency is his own birthright, and nobody should be able to organize and also talk without him talking. And at the end of the day, he has come to the reality that now even the president, nobody wants to be associated with him except a few groups who want to take cover from him when he defends them on the platforms that he has, maybe in churches and all that. But at the end of the day, we are going to see more rearrangements, and more people are going to come out, and more people are going to stand for presidency in 2022. So I think when William Ruto sees that, the sequence is that, but it is what it is. This is politics, and at the end of the day, he has to prepare for more. If his heart is bruised, his heart is going to be beaten politically.
Mm-hmm. All right, very well. Even as we wait for the rest to join us, I see they're struggling there with their signal, but they should be with us very, very soon. Let's just see what else Raila said in that. The story is on page 4 of the Daily Nation this morning. Raila says him and the ruling party Jubilee are going to have a formidable party there. And I don't know how that will all go well with the other side of the Jubilee, who also have their wonderful party there in the name of UDA. Okay, so Orange Democratic Movement leader Raila Odinga yesterday signaled the formation of a bigger political movement with the ruling party that he describes as an unstoppable in the run-up to the next general election. Mr. Odinga, whose party has been enjoying a cordial working relationship with President Uhuru Kenyatta's Jubilee since their March 9th, 2018 deal, gave the clearest indication yet that the two parties could enter into a coalition deal together with other parties. He made the remarks while addressing a joint meeting of chairpersons of ODM and Jubilee from the 17 sub-counties of Nairobi at the Convent Hotel in Lavington. And Mr. Odinga said the union will bring together other political parties to form one formidable force, which he likened to the Nile River. So there you go. All right, and so that is on the main headline there on the Daily Nation. And let's turn our attention to the Standard newspaper and see what is it saying this morning. And the main headline on the Standard newspaper: why teachers are new power gurus. So teachers to get more powers over your child's career, from imparting knowledge to molding character behavior. They will also have a big say in the administration of critical school-based tests that will account for up to 60% of the final academic scores. So I think this story, we did it yesterday when we were looking at the CBC and what we should be expecting and how that will work out after the roadmap was launched the other day by the Minister for Education, Professor George Magoha, and together with the President. So, all right, so let's go to page 2 of the Standard newspaper. And MPs write to Mutiambai over threat on Ruto allies. Some lawmakers allied to Deputy President William Ruto have written to Inspector General Hilary Mutiambai, claiming their plans to cause chaos in their political rallies. They also raised concerns over withdrawal of security personnel for a number of elected leaders and claimed that even the Deputy President's events were not given adequate security befitting a leader of his stature. The DP's allies, through their secretariat, claimed there is a squad targeting them and asked the IG to investigate. And before I continue further, we are joined by this morning by Jevan Karanja, all the way from Nanyuki. Jevan, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Miriam. Good morning to our viewers wherever they are catching this broadcast from. And good morning to my friends Kidi Mwanga and Douglas Keremi. Thanks for having me on the show this good morning.
It's always nice. I see you in red. Yes, Valentine's is coming up. Keep keep preparing there. Nice to have you. And we also have...
You're warming up.
Very well. That's very good. And we also have Kidi Mwage, a lawyer from Nairobi. Kidi, a very good morning to you, and thank you for joining us today.
A very good morning, Miriam. There is no greater honors in life than showing up on Punchline. And good to see you.
All right. Thank you. So I'd like for us to start with that story that I just read there. But now MPs have written to Inspector General of Police saying, they are worried about their security. And most importantly, they're saying even some of these events that Deputy President usually attends, they do not have enough security befitting a person of his stature. I think we talked a bit about that yesterday, but I'd like to hear your thoughts. I'll start with you, Javen.
Thank you very much, Miriam. We have seen the people who follow the Deputy President. Mostly they come out to pretend as if they are victims of state intimidations, state victimization, and they come out crying loud that the government is mistreating them. And this makes me remember when we had the 2017 general election, sometimes then security details of then the NASA brigade and the members of parliament who were supporting the former prime minister were withdrawn. And some of the people today who are crying the loudest were celebrating and saying that they will know that they are in government. But today, because it is them, that is why they are making this noise. It is not good to not provide security to members of parliament, but they should also, when they are in parliament, make good registrations that will make this country secure, that everybody, not only them, they should not be only them, but all Kenyans should be secured in this nation. They should feel safe wherever they are. Therefore, this is something that usually happens, but I don't know whether what they are saying is true or can be verified to be factual, because we know this group, sometimes they come out seeking something we call the sympathy from the public. Mm-hmm. We saw them when they are mentioned in corruption scandals, or when they are mentioned in illegal ways to get money in their pocket using public funds. What they do, they start criticizing the government, and when the DCI or the EACC summons them, they start crying that the government is intimidating them because they have a contrary view of They support the Hassora nation, the so-called Hassoraism. But when investigations are done and they found culpable, that is when we see the real colors, the true colors of these individuals. Therefore, with or without what they are saying, are the same people who have been going around public rallies telling Kenyans that they can hold these public rallies without security details, without any protection from the state, because they have numbers and they have their God. Therefore, I don't know why they are worried, because they are the one who are making all those threats. And what Miriam I know, security details of all members of parliament were reduced by CS Matiang'i. I hope you remember. And some of these members, security officers, were set into areas that are prone to violence, prone to insecurity. Therefore, this is not something that is unique to them. It cuts across all members of parliament. Therefore, they should not be treated in any way better because they support the deputy president. Mm-hmm. And on the same note, Miriam, the same deputy president, William Ruto, our deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, we have seen him going around sabotaging the government agenda, talking ill of the government. Why is he worried when the government he talks ill about is not providing him with the security? What did he expect? He thought that the government is just an imaginary figure that you can go out there threatening, issuing all manner of words using your surrogates. Mm-hmm. It's a big government, is an institution that cannot be pointed at heart with anyhowly. That is why you see them now. They are tensed because they felt like this government was just a joke. But government is an institution that is given mandate by the people, it is serviced by the people, and you cannot go around there trying to intimidate it. And when your security details or slightest change happens to your operations, you start crying. That is not the case. Therefore, let me say, everybody deserves security in this country, not simply because they're a member of parliament, but all Kenyans, those in Kapendo, those in Garissa, those in Nyeri, everybody, even those in Kisumu and Mombasa, we all deserve and need security to protect our property and to protect our children, to protect our lives. That is the work of police and the intelligence that we have in this country.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And before we get the response by the police spokesperson, Mr. Owino there, there's something that you mentioned, Javen, about maybe them coming up with this story. And I do not want to to water down some of these claims, when somebody thinks their life is threatened or whatever. I think that's a serious claim. But we'll see how the police has responded to that. But going back to how perhaps we've seen them, remember the fake letter that was later traced back to the annex that apparently there was plans to kill Deputy President. Do you remember the letter that was finally traced back to somewhere over there? And you're saying sometimes they do these things to seek for sympathy. But if that should be the case, and we're not saying whatever they're saying is true or false, but I mean, this is dangerous politicking, assuming, they're trying to use such information or such stories to get sympathy from their supporters. That would be pathetic. I want to believe that is not the case. Kidi.
You remember the Ladamas story by Dennis Itumbi, and he says he had the videos. What happened? You remember them calling themselves hustlers. Why are they terming themselves as hustlers when they go around with choppers? So that they can attract sympathy from those people who are downtrodden in the society. That is a tactic that is well mastered in that group of Jubilee Party.
Kidi.
Thank you very much, Miriam. I was confirming if my audio was on. Yes, in psychology there is what is called reverse psychology. Reverse psychology, more often than not, is used by perpetrators of violence or abusers against their victims. And in this case, I will say that, since the deputy president bolted out of government or began to sabotage the government of President Uhuru Kenyatta, he has subjected this government, this administration, to untold destruction, untold suffering. He has subjected the people of Kenya to untold suffering because he has consistently and continuously distracted the government from delivering to them those things that they put the government in office for. And he has perfected the art of reverse psychology by constantly claiming to be the victim. I don't know if Aesop's fable of the boy, the shepherd who would cry wolf, comes to mind. We were treated to a time when cabinet secretaries and the PSS meeting over matters in Mount Kenya region were accused of planning to assassinate the holder of the second most powerful office in this democracy. And then when they were put to their defense, none of them came out with anything substantial that is worth acting on. In fact, they should be grateful to the president and that they were not subjected to greater accountability, that they were left with a slap on the arm. As we speak today, it has become evident that William Ruto's support is not grounded in popular mass movement. Truth is, it has been established that what William Ruto and co have been doing is that they go to a polity, hire a handful of hecklers, then that heckler group work as a unit. Of course, they would attract a few bystanders, idle bystanders, who unwittingly join them, and then they capture videos where they videotape and show that concentrated part where people are walking and post it on social media, which sometimes the mainstream media is also a victim of falling for such prey and then creating a perception that there is this huge mass movement. Why am I saying that? And how am I using that in response to your question that William Ruto is claiming, or people around William Ruto are claiming that they're being targeted? Truth is, they are subjecting the government to reverse psychology. That because they know a number of them are people with criminal record, people with questionable integrity, people that the instruments of our criminal justice system should be going after. They are now trying to blackmail the government that instead of going after them, the government should be reinforcing their security detail. I hope that we have the ministry, that our Ministry of Interior and our police service are headed by people who understand how politicians operate. That they shall gauge, they either add or withdraw security depending on real threats to the lives of those politicians, but not because of blackmail. And let me dare ask, if William Ruto and the Hustler Nation were such a mass movement, so popular as they claim, why would they be crying about security? In this country, some of us have lived long enough to see security detail of people like Raila Odinga with the drone and his supporters provided security. Why can't it be the same for William Ruto? Thank you.
Okay, very well. So Kilifi North Member of Parliament Owen Baya claimed in their entire coast tour they were denied police protection. We were without security in the entire tour, even in a case where the DP was opening a police station built with the Constituency Development Fund. No senior police was present during the handover of the facility, said Mr. Baya. Now, Nyali Member of Parliament Mohammed Ali said they had to engage private security at Freer Town despite the police being aware that the DP will be there. Ms. Kihika, on behalf of Ruto allies, demanded that security officers at Ruto's events should be in uniform and have badges for easy identification. And so, perhaps help me understand, or maybe just reason out this for Kenyans who are confused out there. Of course, Deputy President in his position as the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya enjoys, security that is provided for by state, and we'll see how the police spokesperson here, Charles Owino, responded and explained, the kind of security the Deputy President is provided for. So the people are around the DP now. We see the complaining that the DP is not offered adequate security while attending these events. But DP is not there, I guess, in the capacity to do his job as the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. When he's going there to his rallies, to his events, he's not going there to popularize what his boss, is doing right now. He's not going there under government's agenda. We've not seen him do that lately. So if the same government, the same position that has accorded you the virtue of having this wonderful security detail there, and you're not serving, you're not carrying out your responsibility, but you still demand, regardless of that, you want to be treated as if though you're the Deputy President, and I think it's understandable, and we want you to be safe, wherever you are out there. But I mean, help me understand this reasoning, Douglas.
Thank you, Miriam. And we need to understand that what Deputy President William Ruto is putting Kenyans is into a very bad political quagmire, which is not premised on the law, and also which is not premised on rationalism. This is a Deputy President who has absconded duty, who has run away from his office, who is also using government resources in Karen to continue campaigning for a 2022 bid, whereas he is sitting on a mandate from President Uhuru Kenyatta as the president and him as the deputy. That is, they are supposed to be dispensing to the people of Kenya without the greed and also the selfishness that we have seen the deputy president operate under his office. Deputy President is a man that will call members of parliament and senate and also MCAs at his current office to misuse them instead of them dispensing their mandate in the county assemblies, the National Assembly, and also Senate. He calls them and talks about them, and also says he is scoring them so that they can be able to pass bills that touch the common mwananchi and also that touch on the welfare of a poor person. Remember, this is a mandate that he has been sitting on for the last 8 years. Is it the time that he has found that now he can call them in Karen? This is a deputy president who, instead of working and also talking with the President Uhuru Kenyatta, passing implementation and also the policies that are going to change the lives of poor people and also the middle class and everyone in this country without discriminating against anyone, as if becoming rich became a crime in this nation. William Ruto is a man that has run away from his core mandate of the principal assistant to the president. When my father was in the provincial administration in his days, my father would not be able to use government resources to do his family functions and also his own ambitions. If my father wanted to fence his his own land, he would never use government resources. But we have seen William Ruto, who wants to become president in this nation, continue demanding that police officers, including regional commanders, county commanders of police, sub-county commanders, all of them in their badges and in their full uniforms and in their full color, coming out so that they can be able to protect a man that is on a personal mission to become president of the Republic of Kenya. Miriam, today you cannot pick the official mandate of your office at Punchline Africa and continue going to supermarket, harassing people around and doing all manner of things because you are a senior at Punchline. Nobody will take you seriously, and that is a misuse of and that is abuse of office and misuse of resources. And this is what Deputy President William Ruto is doing. We cannot aid a deputy president who is a very rogue deputy and also a very rogue deputy to continue with his personal mission. For example, if you want to start your own Kiswahili station called Miriam and Watoto FM, you cannot use Punchline Africa resources to continue with your personal mission. No matter how good you are, Miriam, you are a good journalist, but you cannot be able to use that in your personal business. William Ruto becoming president is his personal ambition, and when he is paid a salary, he is going to take care of his wife and the children, and Kenyans have no stake. Kenyans will have a stake in his presidency when he becomes the head of state and government, when he is sworn in as president, when he doesn't become president in 2022, who will account and who will pay the Kenyan taxpayers the money that he has been using, dishing out to people in Karen, and also destroying government agenda, and also destroying the legacy of President Kenyatta, who is going to hold him accountable when he is no longer a deputy president, who is going to hold him accountable for what resources he has been using to continue his agenda to become president. Miriam, if you want to become a senior anchor at CNN, Punchline Africa is not going to use their internet to help you send your CV to their offices in New York and also BBC in London. Nobody will assist you from Punchline. You are misusing public resources, private resources. In this case, our deputy president, Dr. William Ruto, is misusing public resources. When he sends Susan Keheka Rigathi Gachagua to say that the deputy president is being harassed, he should be harassed because he is misusing public resources and taxpayers' money so that he can become president of this nation. Okay. We have no stake in his presidency. We shall have a stake in his presidency when he becomes the commander-in-chief of the armed forces and also the head of state and government in this country. Miriam, this is a man that has chosen the rough way of misusing public resources, and Kenyans are turning the bright eye when he's given resources to run his office at Annex. He takes the same money to Karen so that he can cook mandazi and chai for the people that will come to see him. This is a very wrong deputy president that should be dealt with. I am praying that the government of the Republic of Kenya will cut its budget with a 90% so that the money that will be left is for paying receptionists and people that will come to see the deputy president.
Very well, Douglas.
Thank you, Miriam.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Douglas. Now, they appealed to the United States and other international partners to monitor the situation in the country. Hatujafika hapo. In their statement, they argued that the international community should hold the Jubilee government accountable with regards to the security of top leadership, the same government that they are part of. Javan, it's quite confusing because these events, and I agree, a deputy president needs security, and the police spokesperson there has said his security is intact. But these events and these activities that Deputy President has been engaging in has nothing to do with his official duties there, and completely has nothing to do that. And, you know, there are privileges you enjoy because you hold certain position and the responsibilities that comes in you being in that office. But these events have nothing to do with his mandate as his deputy president of the Republic of Kenya a lot of times. Matter of fact, it is sabotaging the agenda of his boss, and he has to be protected while he's doing that.
Thank you, Miriam, for that, and clarifying that point to our viewers. One, the deputy president, William Ruto, when he goes to these occasions, they call as Hazara empowerment engagement. Those are Hazara's engagement activities, and those are not official duties of the deputy president. If he was going in Mombasa, in Kwale, to look at a government project, to commission or a government project, or to investigate what the work being done, that could be a different case. But when you come all the way from Nairobi, from your official residence, and you go to Mombasa or Bomet to give wheelbarrows and gumboots and other protective equipment for those people who use their hand and muscles to work, then you see the difference. Because one of the duties of the deputy president, he is a principal assistant of the president. These occasions, this Tanga and Hasura's occasion, he is not assisting the president. He is not doing the role of the deputy president. And that is why, as Kenyans, we are left in a dilemma. One, we don't know the true deputy president and Dr. William Ruto. These are two different people. One, in some occasions, he calls himself the deputy president and he starts praising the government agenda. In some occasion, he is Dr. William Ruto, who is in Hasura's agenda, who is giving wheelbarrows, who is praising other things and promising 100 million if he happens to form the government in 2022. Therefore, this is a man who is campaigning for his general election, is campaigning for 2022 election using government resources. And Miriam, we know when we go to a general election, we have a period where the members of parliament, they leave their seats, the MCAs, the governors, and they come and they seek mandate from the people of Kenya. Therefore, at this moment, who he is seeking mandate, well, he is still the deputy president. I think that is not the right thing. You can't be campaigning when you're still the deputy president. You need to shed one title, that of deputy president, so you can go campaign as Dr. William Ruto. And I think at that time, he will not demand security. We don't demand public vehicles. We will not demand his official residence in Karen. But now, Miriam, he has cooked his own goose. This is a man who has inflicted wounds in himself, thinking that he was praising some masses. And this politics, Miriam, of trying to praise some people by giving them wheelbarrows, at the end of the day, you are the one who suffers. You are the one who distorts your image and your reputation. And the people of Kenya and the international body, the people they are calling from the international agencies to come and intervene in this country, they can't come to intervene for a person who is sabotaging the government, a person who is not working to deliver the mandate that was given by the people of Kenya, a person who has been mentioned in various corruption-related scandals. I think they are going too far, and these are scaremongering. They are just scared of the events that are happening in this country and realizing that Kenyans have woken up from the slumber and they are not buying this empty rhetoric. They want substance. They want something that is tangible. Therefore, Dr. William Ruto, with all due respect, if you go to this occasion, not for government, you are not sent by the President Uhuru Kenyatta, or it's not official. Those are your own personal ambitions. Those are your own personal interests. You can go there with your private detectives or private intelligence, because to some extent, even President Uhuru Kenyatta, I hope he is tired of having a deputy president who is reading from a different script. And if you feel like this government is not justifying, this government is not delivering on its mandate, why not resign and concentrate on your 2022 agenda? Why do you want to eat from both two sides? You cannot cook two pots. Well, that is what we say here in Mount Kenya. You cannot cook two pots at the same time. You need to do one at a time. And he needs to concentrate either with President Uhuru legacy or vacate office and start concentrating on his 2022 agenda in 2022, who will provide him with security?
All right, very well. Okay, it appears they want to have their cake and eat it right there. So let's see. But in a swift rejoinder, police spokesperson Charles Owino dismissed the claims. Mr. Owino said the MPs were not truthful because the DP has 3 levels of security: G Company, the presidential escort, and the elite Reke Company, the guard that guard him around the clock. And the G Company mans all his residences around the country. The presidential escort service, mostly in civilian, takes care of his travels alongside the special Reke Company attached to the deputy president, Mr. Owino said. So that letter was dated 8th of February and raised concerns over the withdrawal of security in Ruto's events. So they're saying if only the events, but the rest of the times he seems to be having his security from, if you were to go with what those members of parliament are saying. Kidi, even as we conclude this matter and move to the next and see what else is happening there in Jubilee.
In 2015, I was at the law school, and I am saying that because President Obama came here. So in private session with then members of the opposition, President Obama came out and called the bluff of members of the opposition that they were making demands on the US government, same demands that they were not willing to make while they were in government. We remember how Martha Karua had handled the international community when she was the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs during the 2007-2008 Serena talks, including referring to the then chairman of the African Union, Bwana Kofuo, as someone who was coming to have tea in Kenya. William Ruto has been in government. His people are still in government. They are still supposedly members of the ruling coalition, and therefore the calls, the demands that the United States should intervene are not only asinine, plain asinine, but also very, very misplaced. Misplaced because we go into international law and look at what instances can a different country intervene in affairs of another country. Kenya is a sovereign country, and I don't think that the US would want to interfere into Kenya's internal affairs without a just cause. These are people whom I must add that William Ruto and co. are people who made their bed and they must lie on it. The only obligation we the citizens have is to continuously call out their bluff, call out their lie, call out their inconsistencies, so that they are then able to choose what they want. If they want to stick with the president, but they've demonstrated that they are not going to stick with the president. Because yesterday, President in his Meet the People said that he will not leave this country in the hands of a thief. He did not mention anyone by name. But I was actually surprised to see people who are associated with the deputy president, William Ruto, running all over the place saying that the president made that remark in reference to William Ruto. Then I said, truly, the guilty are always afraid. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. And yes, it's interesting you brought up what President Uhuru Kenyatta said yesterday, because we have a video of that, and I think I'd like for production to play it so that we can talk about it.
Na ndipo mimi nasema, mimi haja yangu, wengine wanawaambia Uhuru anataka kutawala, mimi najua mwaka ujao mimi naenda nyumbani. Mimi sina shida na hiyo. Sina shida. Lakini nia yangu ni kuhakikisha ya kwamba wale ambao wataendelea hawatakuwa watu ya kunyanyasa na kuibia wananchi. Ama ni namna gani wenzangu? Nia yangu ni kuhakikisha ya kwamba wale ambao wataendelea watakuwa na hiyo roho ya kuunganisha Wakenya, sio kuwaganya Wakenya. Namna gani bwana? Kwa hivyo mwambie wale wanazunguka wakinitusi, mimi sijali. Mimi haja yangu ni wananchi wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, na hawa ndio watakuwa mstari yangu ya mbele kuhakikisha nimewatendea kulingana na zile ahadi niliwapatia. Nyinyi mnataka tupigane jameni? Jameni, tukiwa na BBI ambaye inasema ya kwamba nyinyi watu wa Nairobi mtaongezewa constituencies, na ndio kama ni basari, mtoto wa Mathare ambaye leo hii akienda kutafuta basari anapatiwa shilingi 500 basari, huyo mtoto atasoma mpaka university? Atasoma mpaka university? Lakini kuna mtoto mwingine wa Kenya ambaye anapata shilingi 1,100 basari kwa mwaka. Hiyo ni haki? Alafu nyinyi watu wa Nairobi hapa mnanyeta ati hamtapitisha BBI. BBI sio ya kusaidia Uhuru, sio ya kusaidia Raila. Ni wewe my friend utafaidika wewe. Ni wewe. Na imewezekana kwa sababu ya ule umoja tuliweza kupatana wakati tulipata handshake na tukasema sisi haja yetu ni kuongea juu ya maslahi ya wananchi wetu na hatutapigana tena kisiasa. Wacha tukae meza moja tuongee juu ya maslahi na maisha ya wananchi wa Kenya.
Right, very well. That was President Uhuru Kenyatta there saying BBI is not there to benefit him or opposition leader Raila Odinga. BBI is for the benefit of the people of Kenya. I'd just like to get your reactions there, and I'll start with Douglas.
Thank you, Miriam. One thing we need to understand as people of Kenya is that the president was very categorical, and the president is a noble man. He's a noble son of Kenya, and he wouldn't want to leave this country to thieves. So anybody that is being acted by that statement knows that they are thieves. And for example, I have not stolen from anyone. You have never seen me being held in courts or also people talking about my scandal of stealing from anyone, even in Meru. I have not grabbed any land. But when the president talks about thieves, you cannot sleep. You are talking about thieves from evening until today morning. They are still debating and saying that our thief must be president. It is God who sanctions leaders and not presidents. This issue of leaving the country to thieves who have defranchised the people of Kenya economically and stolen from us our political voice and stifled our voices in terms of development and in terms of progress as a nation should end with this presidency. At the end of the day, the president himself is very categorical, and also in the BBI that I've read myself, that all corruption cases will be completed in 2 years. We are going to be dealing with these issues very fast. It will not take the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya to stop a prosecution of a case by reading the Riot Act to the DCI and all that. When you shall not be running to Arambia next or also Karen, so that the Deputy President can be able to defend you. No, these issues, we are going to deal with them N square. We are going to deal with them, either you going to prison, returning our property as the people of Kenya, selling your vehicles and choppers, so that we can be able to deal with this menace once and for all. The country that the president wants to bequeath us in 2023, when government is fully formed after his exit, is a government that shall not be led by thieves. And I support the president as an ordinary Kenyan. Nobody should be given a mandate when he's a thief. Thieves belong to committee, and all their assets be governed through the Assets and Recovery Authority. Actually, that authority has been very idle for some time now. We need to return their Arora and Kimorel money. Instead of gifting our people who live in Arora and Kimorel thickets and bushes, they should be having 2 dams that are supplying those areas with water, so that we can be food secure as a country. But someone found it is very important, like Kidi says, to build an hotel in Mombasa, to continue buying choppers with that money. Someone found it very good, so that they can steal monument for construction of a Camarine Stadium in West Pokot, which is historic because these people, instead of our stadium, they have been gifted thickets and bushes. It is the high time now, as a country, we confront the evils that we have, and we have the clear path in BBI, so that we can be able to deal with these issues once and for all. And we also have political goodwill from President Uhuru Kenyatta. Come what may, these issues of corruption and also corrupt leaders stealing from the public and using the same money to come and run for office, to continue entrenching their political corruption and also economic sabotage and economic and doing to the people of Kenya should stop with this administration. And President Uhuru Kenyatta is leading by example. There is goodwill in this country, and we, the people of Kenya, we support the president. There is no thief shall step into State House in 2022. All thieves in this country should be put on notice. Whatever you have stolen from the public, you shall return that money, because the money belongs to the people of Kenya. A man that has no record of being employed anywhere. At least I can show 5 or 4 places I've been employed since my school days. This man has nowhere he has been employed. There is no pay slip except the one that the Jubilee government has given him. But he is a billionaire. I'm not a billionaire after working for over 5 companies today. I work for an international company. I'm not a billionaire.
Okay.
What magic is this man doing? I pray that the president continues giving goodwill to this country so that we can be able to arrest this situation and arrest this Miriam. Thank you.
Perhaps you need to get a better international company, Douglas, ambayo inakulipa as you know, as what the DP is having today. I'm not sure. Patrick Mudilo, good morning, and thank you so much for watching. And also Charles Munga, thank you so much for your time this morning. So what the president there has said, first of all, he has no interest of sticking to power after next year's general election. And the second, he is not intending to leave. His intention is to leave this country in a pair of safe hands. Javen, a president does not even have a vote of confidence to his own deputy. I think that is what he's saying there.
Well, one thing, and I also Gojiru Wambogo saying that the honorable member of parliament, Nyeri Town, saying that the the president of the Republic of Kenya, President Uhuru Kenyatta, has been delivering good services projects without a deputy president. Therefore, this shows that there is nothing much that the deputy president can do now that can make maybe the development of this country to speed up or to increase on terms of being delivered to the people of Kenya, because he sabotaged his duties immediately after the handshake, and that was so unfortunate. What President Uhuru Kenyatta is telling the people and residents of Nairobi is that he has no plans to stick in power after his term comes to an end, and that is 2022 August or 2022 October, after he passes the battalions or the batons of power to the president who would be elected by the people of Kenya. Therefore, the president is a person who wants to vacate office, as constitution says. Therefore, this is a man who follows the constitution. This is a man who follows the rule of law, because he does not want to sabotage the will of the people. We have been seeing and we have heard people saying that the president wants to come through the back door and to become the prime minister through the BBI, or he wants to become a long-term serving president like what President Moi did. But President Uhuru Kenyatta has no intentions to do that, and we cannot be the spokespersons of President Uhuru Kenyatta when he is in capacity to speak for himself, as he did yesterday. Therefore, that is something that is well, because at the end of the day, even as President goes for his retirement, we have seen him deliver services. We have seen him revolutionize the development of this country. We have seen development than any other regime in this country. Kenya's becoming together. And one thing that we remember President Uhuru Kenyatta for is the BBI, to bring unity, to bring all Kenyans together. We have seen the cordial relationship they have cultivated with the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, that when you go to Kisumu and you come from these areas of Nyeri, you'll be welcomed as a very important person there. And when you come from Kisumu, you go to Kiambu, to other places, people will celebrate, because we are all Kenyans. People now have started seeing the need to be patriotic, the need to feel and to love all Kenyans, because we are the same people. We are only in different regions, but what the common factor that puts us together is we are all Kenyans, and that is something that we should all focus into, and that is what the BBI does. Therefore, President Uhuru Kenyatta has done a lot, and that is something that is quite significant, even for the growth of a country, because you can't grow a country when people are divided, when people are fighting for their tribes, when people are fighting because of racism, nepotism, and other divisions. On the issue of whether the person that President Uhuru intends to leave the office to, he didn't say that whether if we vote a thief as Kenyans, President have not said that he will not accept. You know, at the end of the day, Miriam, Kenyans will make the determination. And, you know, I have seen people trying to subvert the conversation and to portray President as if he will not leave the presidency to a particular or to some people. No, the President have said he wants Kenyans not to leave this country in people who have been in one way or the other engaging in corruption, stealing public resources. Those are the kind of people that Kenyans we should avoid, and also President wishes and hopes that is the decision that we'll make, because you have seen, look at the counties that are led by these people who are engaged in corruption. Those counties, they don't perform. Look at a constituency that is headed by a person who is corrupt. Those constituencies, they don't get bursary, they don't get other services. Therefore, that is a replica of what we expect if we got a president who has been notorious. But the funny thing, Miriam, with all this conversation, we have seen people from some quarters claiming that their person is being targeted.
Okay.
You know, this country, we are funny. When a person talks of corruption, their people is being targeted.
Right.
Now the president said he will not leave the presidency to a thief. And some people are making the loudest noise that our man is being targeted. Who is this man who is being targeted? Okay. Who is so notorious that even with the slightest touch of a thief, all the people comes up and start defending him.
Yes.
Therefore, it's funny, and if you support,
Yes, I'd like for us to wrap up, but complete your thought.
Yeah, therefore, the next time if president says he will not leave the presidency to a person who have maybe done one or two, three things, you'll see also the same group coming out to defend. And you know, now they are saying, my thief, my choice. Therefore, we have a problem, but president is categorical. We need a person who can do better than President Uhuru Kenyatta. In simple terms, that is what president is saying. Look for someone who can do better, who can take this country, or who can do better than what I have done. Therefore, that is the person we Kenyans should be looking to. And we know, definitely, we know who can't be that person. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Javen there. Now, Kidi, President Uhuru Kenyatta coming out and saying his intention is to leave this country in the hands of somebody who can do good by the people of Kenya, and saying he will not leave this country in the hands of thieves. And, you know, as has been widely speculated there, even without him, he didn't mention any names, but people are assuming he's talking about his deputy president. But President Uhuru Kenyatta did not mention his deputy by name there, so it's just an assumption. But should this assumption be true, that perhaps President Uhuru Kenyatta was referring to his deputy, which we don't know if he was, because he did not say that? Maybe I had some people reasoning yesterday that perhaps, you know, because we had them when they were campaigning on their first term, and they were like, President Uhuru Kenyatta will go first, and then Deputy President will come in after that for another 10 years or so. It was said, it is out there in public. Of course, Deputy President has come out even in the recent past and said, nobody owes me anything. And President Uhuru Kenyatta has said he doesn't owe anybody anything. So hakuna deni, all right? We've all agreed. Hakuna deni. But do you think perhaps from some reasoning I had from some Kenyans yesterday after that, they were saying that maybe after working with his deputy, President Uhuru Kenyatta, in his first term, and he came with the good intentions of, after I'm done, then I will support you, you're my deputy, we are in it together. But then after working with him, maybe after some times, and all these cases that we've seen on corruption and what that our Deputy President and his office has been mentioned widely. Of course, a couple of these cases have not been substantiated in court, but we know a few, like that one of Western Hotel land grab that is still in the courts. We know that one of Langata Primary School. We know that one of Muteshi. We know several others that at least have been have found their way into the courts, and the courts have it's a matter of public knowledge there. So maybe Uhuru Kenyatta, from that experience, he realized, oh no, I might have had an intention of, but maybe from judging from what the two of us, the working relationship we've had, and these things that are now coming out, maybe that will not be a very good idea. Do you think that is what is happening here, Kidi, as we conclude?
When in the good book, when Jacob is dying, he calls his sons and he tells his first son Reuben that you are the pride of my youth, but Jacob, you are mighty, but Jacob, you will not go far, for you are as unstable as waters. I will say, to add to that Bible verse by saying that if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, then it's definitely a duck. William Ruto has demonstrated how tolerant he is to corruption. And if he can be that tolerant to corruption, when he is only number 2, then what much more havoc can he wreak when he is the deputy president? I have times that number illustrated how William Ruto established a complex corrupt network, not only within the office of the deputy president, but even in parliament and parastatals, such that monies, the treasury would make budgets for with corruption in mind. That money would go to parliament, to the budget appropriation committee, and how that money, as it was passed at the treasury, retained that way, then taken to parastatals, and have that money baked in sacks. One thing I will tell the camp of William Ruto is that Kenya is better, Kenya is more hopeful, Kenya is a beautiful country than the sum of our individual ambitions. The truth is that when we lost 63 billion was lost in Aurora and Kimware, William Ruto came out and told us that only 7 billion was lost. Only 7 billion, to imply that the money that was lost was not such a big sum of money. But let me put this to the viewer, that if you have 1 billion today, and you're spending 1 million in a month, and you're spending that 1 million without taking any part of it to the bank, you make sure you spend it to the last penny. In a month, you're spending 1 million. It will take you 83 years to spend 1 billion. 83 years to spend 1 billion. But then if you're to use 1,000 in a day, out of 1 billion, it will take you 2,005 years to deplete 1 billion. That is the amount of money that, when lost, does not even worry William Ruto. This is a project that was intended for a constituency that would be serving people who are supposedly his people in Elgeyo Marakwet. But then William Ruto is not perturbed. Then we go further and look at how, under the Ministry of Agriculture, through Kosgei and others who came after Kosgei, Felix and others, he was able to decimate maize farming in the Rift Valley, a place that was hitherto the food basket of this country. Disempowering his own people. President Kenyatta understands and appreciates that the work of the government is to, among other things, ensure that everyone is able to have a fair shot in life. And that is why President Kenyatta, in his wisdom, is saying, having looked at it all, has said that he is not leaving this country to a thief. And guess what? The thief has come out, guns blazing. Thank you.
Okay. Thank Thank you, Kidi Mwaga. Thank you, Douglas Kirimi. Thank you, Jevan Karanja. We have to end the show here, but we shall be back at 11 a.m. and with the show, The People's Court, and we shall be looking at the impact of COVID-19 on the Kenya's economy. My name is Miriam Ogutu. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later.